But yeah, guys, so hey, it's Diaphone. Yeah, I came across a really cool Reddit post about the future of Granblue Versus, and I read it. Talks a lot about like sales and prediction. The game's actually doing a lot better than people think. I'm pretty sure it's oversold like BlazBlue and some other games, right? So it's actually doing pretty well sales-wise, especially in Japan. It's sold 450,000 copies worldwide, and majority of them are in Japan. It talks about character passes and that sort of thing. But I kind of came up with my own list about should you play Granblue in 2021? And is it worth it, right? So what this post goes through, we do have a season 2. For you guys that don't know, we're at 3 characters in the season 2, and then we have 3 characters to go. We do have Henri coming, who's not really a fan favorite, but he's still another character, and if he's gonna be like anything like the other DLC characters, he's probably gonna be pretty popular, pretty fun. And we don't know the other 2 characters, but just pray they're fun, right? Season 3 drops, so probably gonna get, like everyone's saying we're gonna get Diaphone. This guy says 100% sure. I'm not sure if that's actually true. But Diaphone, like, I guess he's a really big draw, right? And we're probably gonna get some other big draws, especially for season 3. They'll probably pull out all the stops because we do think that's the last season. The other thing is that season 3 will probably last until, I'm guessing, the end of 2021. And this guy has a really good theory that Relink comes out in 2022. Which means that they'll probably like cultivate the Granblue fan base and continue to keep it alive, including the gacha game and the Granblue Versus game, in order to prep for Relink, which is more of like Monster Hunter meets Granblue in 2022, right? So they'll probably stretch it out till then. So it means we got like at least a year of support left. So they have a community they can kind of roll over to Relink, which I'll personally be playing Relink because the game looks sick and it's Granblue IP. That's kind of OP, right? But let's talk about some of the other aspects, right? So is Granblue worth getting into currently, and based on what the future is, right? One of the big pros is I think there's continued support. We know season pass is coming for season 2. Season 3 is going to be a season pass. We're probably going to get like 9 DLC characters this year, maybe like 8 or 7 if they leave some for 2022. So compared to like every other game that's out right now, it's probably the most aggressive DLC schedule. If you guys like new characters, it's pretty good to be playing Granblue Versus because you'll get that like month over month injection of new people, or at least people coming back just to check out the DLC character. You have a big user base through the gacha, which is pretty cool. I don't know how many people actually play the gacha. I actually want to Google that. 23 million? Is that real? That's crazy. You have a big user base to draw from, which means you have room to grow even more, right? It's like 1 to 2% of the people that play the gacha game are playing this game. So if you could drop more of those people over from the gacha game to this game, you have a really large fan base to pull from. Yeah, imagine 23 million people in the lobby. That's actually kind of crazy. The other thing is like, it's also one of the most accessible games out there. You have easy inputs, you have stuff like very simple motions, you have some very simple characters that are easy to get used to, easy combos, especially when you have a game like Strive, or I don't know really what else is coming out this year. That's definitely a big benefit to it, is that it can draw more people in. It's well balanced, strong gameplay. You still have a lot of tournament support through NLBC, or specifically like in Japan, you have the Rage tournaments, which are like 30K each for first place. That's a crap ton of money for playing the fighting game, right? That is true. I mean, accessibility is definitely a double-edged sword, but I think this game has tons of depth. Like, for the people that we know about this game, we know that the game's not just about easy inputs. There's a lot of room for this game to grow. It's well balanced, has a good system behind it. And it's also most likely in the Arc Reva tour, right? If you kind of look back from what they've done previous years, they've kind of featured 2 games, and most likely next year it'll be Granblue Versus, and it will be Strive when Strive comes out in April, right? But there are some cons, right? And I do think this might be what's putting some of the people off, is that in April this game will get nerfed hard by Strive. Like, people aren't like kind of putting that in account, but a lot of the user base, or the people that will play this game, will also play Strive. And so there's a large community crossover. I don't know how well it'll work in Granblue's favor, because some people might play Strive and be like, or maybe Strive's jank, or who knows what will actually happen with Strive. Maybe the rollbacks, I don't actually roll back. It's like Street Fighter 5 rollback. It's just trash. I'm personally gonna play both, but who knows what other people do, right? So that might take some people away from the community. This is a con and a buff, but like, I think the game is way too expensive. Yeah, so if I want to actually buy this game, it's $60 plus character pass set. Is that everyone? It's $7 per character. Oh, so it's $30. So if I want to buy all the characters, it's 60 plus 30 plus 30. It's $120. So this is really expensive. It's probably the most expensive fighting game out there right now. Pretty much everything else has big sales except Granblue. But this is a pro too, because I think when this game has a big sale, like it happened for BB Tag got discounted to $5 for the base game. And I don't think Granblue is going to get discounted to $5 anytime. But when they got that big discount, the lobbies like doubled, and they stayed doubled for a really long time. Actually, they're probably still like, they're typically full most of the time. And it's all off that one sale. So I think when you get a sale for Granblue, the game is just going to kind of explode. So it's going to be like a really good injection, because I think there's a lot of people wanting to play this game, but they can't because they don't have the money or they don't want to get ripped off, which is understandable. And then you have stupid things like the Battle Pass, which is $9 and you basically get nothing. You get like a few different weapon skins and you get like different color palettes, and that's it. The Battle Pass is a ripoff, and that just adds to the like, oh, Granblue's a ripoff kind of stigma that has. Yeah, they're getting memed about being too expensive, and then they had a Battle Pass. It's actually cursed. The other thing that's going bad for this game is it has no GGPO or rollback, which I think this is a little misleading, because you look at the biggest games out there. Street Fighter V has rollback, but it's trash. That netcode's garbage. DBZ netcode's garbage, doesn't have rollback. Tekken 7 got buffed, but like it wasn't really that much of a buff. The only like true godlike netcode out there is MK11, in my opinion. That's like a AAA game. You know, this isn't the only thing holding Granblue back, because, you know, Street Fighter V and DBZ do very well still. I think the main issue from a netcode perspective, I'd much rather play this game, Granblue, online versus like a known opponent than DBZ or Street Fighter V. The reason I like this game online better than some other games is that I think the lag strats aren't as strong. So take for example in DBZ, if you get hit with an overhead in lag plus assist, you like die for that. Compared to like here, where you just take like 10% off an overhead and you don't like get a knockdown or anything like that. I think the issue is that it's hard to matchmake in this game. So if you go into a lobby, you can't actually see connection bars, which is actually crazy. Like, I think every single game I've played, I can see an opponent's connection. I used to play Street Fighter 4 back in the day. You can see everyone's connection. I think that's like the main issue you can complain about, is that it's hard to find games if you don't know people. You have to like keep trying and hope you get lucky. This is more of a pro, is that I think when this game actually comes offline, this game's super ideal to play, because the game's gonna be played on tournament and PS4. The PC version, for some reason, has 2 frames less lag, which means that you can play online on the PC version, and then when you want to transition to offline, you play PS4 and it'll feel pretty similar. And yeah, I think the other con is like kind of like matchmaking, is that as a smaller community than other games, you know, so in off hours, it's tough to find a match. Especially like, yeah, like between like 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's really tough. You can't just like go into a lobby, or you can, but like you're gonna have to wait a while. We have lobby nights, and usually if you play like in the evening, you can find matches. We also have Discord matchmaking. That's my take on a really well-balanced game. So do I think it's worth it to get into Granblue in 2021? I mean, obviously I'm a little biased. I play the game. I'm gonna keep playing it. I think it's really fun. And I think the potential growth of this game is really exciting, especially with all the characters coming out and the potential untapped fan base between no sale and all the people that play the gacha game. I think this game has a lot of room to grow. I think it's the most fun fighting game out there, which is why I play it, right? So I have a bias. I mean, should you play this game? I don't know, you know, weigh the pros and cons and see what it's like. You know, maybe if you can borrow like game share from a friend, or buy it on Steam, and then, you know, you can actually refund it on Steam within 2 hours. So, but if you do want to get into the game, I do recommend joining some of the Discords. I'll put them in like the description below. There's like a few Twitters you can follow. Obviously follow me, right? Follow my Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I'm gonna keep making content for this game even after Strive comes out. I really like the game, so definitely check me out. And the active subreddit as well. But yeah, hope that gives you guys a little clarity. I think honestly, I think this game has a pretty bright future ahead of it, assuming they don't put a few more unpopular characters like you know in the game. But we'll see. Name some of those easy characters. You know, Gran, Catalina, UL. You know, characters. Percival. No, Shadow Claw. I don't think Percy's easy, man. I'm just trolling Seth because he plays Percy. in UL. I do think UL's pretty easy mode though.